Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with another Age of Sigmar battle report and 2000 points. This was the second game in the tournament that I played at the beginning of September 2016 in the Games Workshop store of Brussels. Tables we play here are 2x2 and sorry, not 2x2, 4x4. And this time I played against another army of Stormcast Eternals. So we are going to see here a fratricide battle, Stormcast Eternals versus Stormcast Eternals. In this second round, the scenario we had to play is the Border of War. The Border of War is the one that you put 4 objectives on the battle, and the one in your battle zone is giving you 1 point. The 2 in the middle of the battle are giving, in the middle of the battlefield is giving 2 points, and the one on the opponent battle deployment zone is giving you 4 points. You add points at the end of the turn, and the one that is adding more points at the end of the battle is the winning. So it's important to have control of the board, to have start scoring points from the beginning, and to try to avoid that the enemy is scoring points. So let's make a look first on the army list. So my army list, of course, is the same as the play in game 1, but I will repeat it here. I have Celestian Prime, Lord Celestian on Dracoth, Knight Venator, Knight Heraldor, Lord Castellan, and Lord Relictor. So the 6 characters that you can put at 2000 points, or I would say the 6 leaders, as they are called. Then I have Adjudicator, those 2 units of Judicators of 5 with the bows, 3 units of Liberators, a shield and hammer, nothing special apart of the Prime, and a unit of 3 Prosecutors with javelins, a unit of 5 Retributors with Star Soul maces, and a unit of 2 Glyph Hounds. My opponent was playing as well of Stormcast Eternals. He also had the Celestian Prime, the Lord Celestian on Dracoth, and the Lord Relictor. Then 2 units of Judicators, one with the crossbows and the other one with the bows. 2 units of 5 Liberators, 1 unit of 5 Retributors, 2 units of 5 Retributors, both with 1 Star Soul mace, and 1 unit of Concussors. Let's go first to the deployment. So here we see the yellow dots are where the objectives are placed. So I place my army quite symmetrically, position it. So 1 unit of Liberators in the middle, 1 unit of Judicators in the middle. And then I saw that he was putting a lot of efforts on the left flank. I decided to give the left flank and concentrate on the right flank. My plan here, my battle plan is, let's control first my objective in my battle point, and let's control the objective in my right flank. And later on, I will try to win by trying to control the objective, the other objective in the middle. I will not push too hard to go to the opponent side, and all will depend on how the battle is flowing. I will go for the objective in the left flank or for the objective in the opposite side of the board, depending how he's moving and how the battle is flowing. Of course, we both keep the Celestian Prime in the heavens. Here we have another picture. He had the initiative as he finished first in the deployment. And here we have another overview. So let's see. I will try to keep the shooting. I have advantage in the shooting. We both have a lot of mortal wounds that we can dish because he has. I forgot to mention he has also the Lord Celestian. Alone. So he has 2 Lord Celestians, the Lord Celestian on Dracoth and the Lord Celestian, the one that goes on foot. So it's going to be interesting this match. So we go into turn 1, and my opponent decides to have the initiative. So yeah, he just moved a little bit, shuffle, some shooting. And in his shooting, he just killed 1 of my Judicators. So very fast turn, just try to. He was not in the able to reach the objective in my right flank, and he was in the range of the objective in the left flank. So my plan here is he had too much. I didn't want to engage yet in my left flank. I want to win time. I will go to score the objective in the right and the objective in my zone. He will have 3 points. I will have 3 points at the end of this turn. So I was just trying to. Not to give advantage and not to push too hard at the beginning. As you can see in my movement phase, I just move my Liberators in the right to go to the objective, so they move and run. And I move my prosecutors in the front to be able to have them in range and start doing some shooting to my enemy. Again, big blow from the Knight Heraldor, and start doing some mortal wounds on the Concussors, on the Retributors, and on the Lord Celestial on Dracoth. And also I kill one of the opponent Judicators with my Judicators. Here we see, and I did some also in the right flank. I did some damage on the Retributor, so I spread quite some damage on my opponent. In my first turn I was happy. I did more damage than what damage I received, and yeah, we scored 3 points each. So here we see the right flank, just to show a little bit more of detail. You see I put my Retributors far away from the Concussors. I don't think this is a good match to match my Retributors with his Concussors. My idea is to use the Liberators as a shield for the Retributors and then counterattack with the Retributors. I keep my Judicators as a supporting fire, and I also move here. I have also in that flank the Relictor, the Castellan, and the Venator. The Venator have a lot of mobility, so can go to support any of the sides. And I want to give, it can give supporting fire in any of the two flanks from this position. The only point that was a little bit disappointing, this is a mystic terrain, so my Lord Castellan could not do anything this first turn. And here we see another picture on the front. And yeah, as I said, we finished this first turn 3-3. Ghost of Azir is going to be my army, and I will call my opponent Stormcast, just to avoid mistaking. So each time you see the Ghost of Azir, this is my army. And we go into the turn 2. And my opponent had the initiative again in the turn 2. So as you can see, he was, sorry, the hand is in the middle. He was moving the Lord Celestan in front of my prosecutors, so to be in range of charging the prosecutors. He moved the Concussors far in my left flank and the Retributors to hold the objective in the left. And his plan is to focus as much as he can the fire on the Knight Heraldor to kill him. And this is what he did. So all the Judicators shoot onto my Heraldor. He also moved the Lord Celestan with the little hammers to make some mortal wounds on the Heraldor, and also the Dracoth use the breath weapon into the Knight Heraldor. So in total he made quite a lot of wounds, and he killed the Knight Heraldor in just one turn. This is mainly the damage. The Concussors also use the breath weapon again. My Liberators and Judicators, there is a good spot there where he can hit 3 units with the Concussors, but he was a little bit unlucky and did not do any damage on them. You have to be very careful when you fight against Dracoth, because if you put units two join together, they can reach quite a lot of them. And this was at the end of my turn. Sorry that I missed some pictures. So what I did here, in the left flank, I decided to concentrate all my shooting into the Concussors. So I really killed one of the Concussors, and I put another wound on the other Concussor. And then I decided to assault with my Liberators into the Concussor. I know that they will have a hard time, and he can counter charge with the Retributors. But my plan here was to pin these 2 units there, to avoid that they can go closer to my middle, the middle part of my middle deployment. So I want to pin them there, and then in the turn 3 use the Lord Celestan to make a lot of damage on these 2 units and try to control this flank. So the Liberators were there just to die and to make the movement of my opponent slower. Here in the middle, I move the other unit of Liberators to give space and to avoid that he can reach easily my objective, and to win I put a lot of effectives around this objective. I also move the Griffhounds there, And the point is just to avoid that he can by any chance score the 4 points. Even if he comes with the Celestial Prime, I want to avoid the Celestial Prime can assault there and can kill all the units. So even if the Celestial Prime is concentrating the attacks there, what is going to be difficult because the Celestial Prime, as I position my units, only can assault the Liberators in the front. He cannot deploy it in my backward because have to be 9 inches away from me and then have to feed. And there is not any space for the Celestial, my opponent's Celestial Prime to feed there. So this is one of the disadvantages or advantages of playing in a 4x4 table. So the Celestial Prime deployment is quite limited. So I try to have the control in the middle. I know that can be hard for the Liberators to deal with the Dvakoth. And then on my right flank, I just went with the Liberators, I went with the Retributors, and with all my shooting, and I completely decimate the Liberators of my opponent. So my Liberators take control of the objectives. So in that way, we will keep scoring 3 to 3 points. So I was being quite still conservative and trying to keep the scoring tight and to try to unbalance the scoring at the end. So it was really, just try to control the board and have as much control of the board as I can. So as you see, we have the control of the board a little bit in diagonal. And yeah, this is at the end of the combat. You see, my Liberators did quite a good job. They survived quite well. He flopped all his attacks with the Dvakoth and with the Concussor, and I managed to do 1 wound to him with the Liberator. So this is why at the end the Concussor was with 2 wounds. So in my right flank, my plan was, okay, I will concentrate my fire into the Retributors, because I know that Retributors are the ones that are hitting hard. So and they don't have a good save against shooting. They don't have the roll 1 as the Liberator. So my projectiles are going to be more efficient against the Retributors. I concentrate the fire on the Retributors, and I think I killed 2 of them. What was very, very good, because now I have 5 Retributors against only 2 Retributors of my opponent. I killed 1 in the first turn. And the Liberators just charge against him, Liberators, and I think I managed to kill also some of them. So there I was, the battle in my right was going quite well, and I was able to keep the control of the objective. And we finished, as I say, the second turn 6-6. So still quite tight battle and quite balanced up to now. And with that, we go into the turn 3. Here, sorry for the blurry image. I forgot my camera, and the phone sometimes is doing this. So again, he was pushing with the Lord Celestial on foot to the front, and he also moved the Dvakoth there to be in range. So his plan was, and on the left, he assault with the Retributors into my Liberators. So my Liberators are going to be doomed there. But yeah, they're doing the job that is slowing my opponent's advance. And let's see if I can do some other wounds on the Concussors if I'm lucky. So what was here, his plan was concentrate all the shooting into my Lord Celestial on Dvakoth. He rolled a 6 with the little hammers of the Lord Celestial on foot, plus the mortal wounds of his Dvakoth, plus the Judicators. He managed to kill my Lord Celestial on Dvakoth. So he just died. He was 1 wound only before the Judicators shoot at him, and just the shooting of the Judicators killed him. Okay, so this was the victory. But on the left flank, and after the combat, 3 of my Retributors of my Liberators were still surviving. So, and then in my turn, he decided to hold the Celestial Prime in reserve, but I decided in turn 3 it's time to come. So as you can see, the lining is showing more or less where I land with the Lord Celestial, and then I charge. I did 1 attack to the Concussor. The Concussor had at this moment only 3 wounds remaining, or 2 wounds remaining. I think only 2 wounds remaining because I did a lot of shooting on him. And the Retributors, there were 4 Retributors alive. So I did all my attacks and I killed them all. Okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I had 6 attacks. I did 5 attacks against the Retributors and 1 attack against the Concussors. And you see I killed both units with just my Celestian Prime. I also did the shooting on the Conquerors to do some damage. And then on the other side, I shoot to death the Lord Celestan on Dvakoth. So, and yeah, on my right flank, everything was going in my favor. I just assault with the Retributors, and the Retributors completely obliterate my opponent's Liberators. It was a quite even fight. I had my Liberators were holding there the last remaining Retributor and the 5 Liberators, but when my Retributors assault, they completely obliterate my opponent's Liberators. Only 1 Liberator remaining. And then on the middle, yeah, I killed with the shooting the Lord Celestan on Dvakoth, and then I used my Retributors to assault. I'm sorry, not my Retributors, my Liberators to assault the Lord Celestan on foot. The Lord Celestan. I used the Liberators. The Lord Celestan have not that big punch in close combat, and this was my way to pin him in position to avoid that he can go closer to my objective and to protect the 2 objectives that I have. So this was the situation at the end of the turn 3. So I'm controlling the objective in the left flank thanks to the Celestian Prime and the 3 Liberators, but I'm tied in the objective in my right flank. And the problem is when I assault with the Retributors, I misplaced them, and this was my mistake. So they were too far, and he had 2 miniatures around the objective, and only 2 of my Retributors were within the range of the objectives. So there, nobody was scoring points, and I scored, of course, my objective, and he's scoring his objectives. Here we see another image. The Liberator that is not in contact is killed. I will remove it. It just was to count the casualties and to just for the battle shock test. And here we see, yeah, just the fight between them. And at the end of this turn, I start having advantage. I score 3 points more, so I go to 9 points, and my opponent scored only 1 point this time, only the point in his deployment zone. So we go 9-7. We go into turn 4, and here is when he's deciding to come with his Celestian Prime. I'm not very scared, because if he kills my Celestian Prime, he will not be able to score the point because I still have the Liberators there. If he goes to the opposite flank, then I will use all my shooting to kill him in the next turn, but anyway, he only can score maximum 3 points playing very well, and I will keep scoring 3 points. So, and I'm really focused on the objective. So I think the Celestian Prime coming so late is not, it's a missing opportunity. So we go to the turn 4, as I said. And my opponent had again the initiative. So he was checking where to place the Celestian Prime. He tried to deploy him in my deployment zone. He was checking, and even tried to be in the corner was not feasible because I have all my units quite spread all over my deployment zone. So there was not really a good spot for him. Even my what's called this? Oh, I forgot now the name. My Lord Relictor was in a position that was avoiding him to deploy in my left backward. So at the end, he had to deploy there. He decided to go face to face against my Celestian Prime. So here with him, once the 2 Celestian Primes face to face. In the middle, everything keep engaged. His Lord Celestian keep engaged with my 2 Liberators. He did not decide to retreat. And in the shooting phase, he scratches 2 wounds into my Celestian Prime with the Judicators. In the opposite flank, we still have the battle between the Retributors and the Liberators there. I think there I have the upper hand. And this is not that my Lord Celestian is killed. This is at the end. This is now the end of the battle. The end of the turn 4, the battle finish. because we were over the time and we had to finish this round. So as you can see, it's not that my Celestial Prime died. He tried to assault my Celestial Prime with his Celestial Prime and he failed. And this was a good news. So my Celestial Prime just survived. So we went to my turn 4. And this was just more a formality because I was controlling 3 of the objectives this time. So I just put my Liberators to control this objective here. I moved the Celestial Prime and I killed the Judicators. Okay, so and this was a little bit of a mistake. I should have assault the other Celestial Prime and kill his Celestial Prime because it was giving more points for me in the tournament. But at the end, it was not important. So I just went there and I threatened his deployment zone with my Celestial Prime. I killed the Judicators. And here my Retributors finish the work. Kill my opponent Retributor and my opponent Liberator. With the Star Soul Maces, he had no chance to survive at this point. So I lost 2 of my Retributors in exchange, but I had the control of this objective. And as you can see, I have 1 Liberator. The Liberator Prime is surviving between the shooting and the attacks of my Liberators. I managed to kill his Lord Celestan. So there I was marking the death of the Lord Celestan, and my Liberator Prime is controlling the middle of the battle. So yeah, at the end of this turn I was controlling my objective and the 2 objectives in the middle of the battle zone, and my opponent was controlling his objectives. So here I just want to show, you see here, the Lord Relictor was positioned there. So if you add 9 inches and then the template of the Celestial Prime, you really go to the corner and was in a very bad position to assault. So then the only objective he could assault was my Lord Relictor. That is not really a main objective to assault. So, and he cannot deploy it in my backward because there was not space for him to deploy, and not even in the front because I had the Liberator, and this Liberator that was fighting the Lord Celestan was almost blocking all. So even in my middle table, he cannot deploy the Lord Celestan, the Celestial Prime, sorry. And this was the end result. At the end, adding all the points, 14-8. So this was a major victory for the Stormcast Eternals. Of course, for the Ghosts of Azir this time. So very happy with the performance of my army. Was quite interesting battle, very strategic, very important the positioning. Very important to block the movement of your opponents. I think Age of Sigmar, a lot of people is overlooking that the positioning is key. So how you place your units, how you block the movement of your opponents is key to hold the objective, to create walls or to create layers of protection. So sometimes you don't need to win the battle, you just need to slow them down until you have finished your side, and then you can move the reinforcements. So I think it was really a tactical battle. I think my opponent played quite well. And yeah, and I really enjoyed this battle. So it was very, very, very even until the turn 4. I think the big mistake from one of the big mistakes from my opponent was to hold too long the Celestial Prime in the heavens. And that's all. Please comment, like if you have liked it, share, and yeah, just let me know. Please leave in the comment below what. Let me know. Let me tell me what do you think about my list. What do you think about this battle, and anything that you would like to know in more detail. In any case, if you want to see to know anything else, you also can support me in Patreon. I have a Patreon account where you can support my channel, and all the support is goes directly to this channel. And that's all for now. So as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.